Hello everyone, welcome to V2B Academy and I welcome you all to the class on mapping series. So in the last class we have completed the mapping of South America. Today we are going to start with the new continent, that is North America. So we have seen different things which are related to South America in detail in the last class, if you remember. Okay, we have seen the different locations, the political locations, the country locations, the important places in each of the countries. We have seen the lakes of South America, right? And we have even seen the mountains of South America, and we have seen deserts, plateaus, grasslands, rivers. Okay, in the last class we have completed the rivers part, right? So I've told you about Amazon River, which is the second largest, longest river after the river Nile, and I've told you this is a voluminous river. Okay, Madeira is the largest tributary, and I've spoken you about how it will travel. Like it starts from Peru, then it will go to Colombia, then goes to Brazil. Okay, it starts from a place called as Mantara, and then it will end at the place called as Macapa. So I've told you all of this in the last class. If you haven't watched the previous classes with respect to the South America, kindly go through the playlist. Okay, I have created the separate playlist for the mapping series. You can go through that and you can understand the things in detail. Okay, so start from the starting. So start from the class number 1 so that you'll have a linkage of the topics that we have read. Okay, so in today's class we are starting with North America mapping. So let's start. So as you know, my agenda is to make you learn the things in a bits and pieces manner. Like I'll make you learn only few things per class. Okay, you are going to spend only 15 to 20 minutes per class, and you're going to revise whatever we have learned in the last classes till now, and then go to the part of today's class. Okay, before looking at today's class, please pause the video and try to revise the previous classes, and the notes of which is uploaded in the form of PDF in the Telegram channel. So I will provide the Telegram channel link in the description box. If you want the total South America mapping PDF, you can get access from the Telegram channel. Please make sure you subscribe the Telegram channel also, so that whatever we upload, you'll be notified with that, you'll have that access. Okay, and also make sure you hit the subscribe button of YouTube channel also. Click the notification bell icon, and please hit that like button, because that like button, if you click that like button, it will act as a source of motivation to me for coming up with more such content for you people. Okay, so let's start. So we are starting with North America. Before starting with North America, let me show you what are the different oceans through which the North America is bounded with. So on the eastern side of the North America, there lies an Atlantic Ocean. To the western side, there lies a Pacific Ocean. Same way we have seen for the South America, right? But here comes the twist, that is, to the north of North America there is Arctic Ocean. Okay, to the north of North America there is Arctic Ocean, that you have to remember. So to the east is Atlantic Ocean, to the west is Pacific Ocean, to the north it is Arctic Ocean. Okay, so this is the first pointer that I want you people to remember. Then now let's see the countries of North America. There are very few countries. Okay, so but there are some island nations and Caribbean nations which we have to learn in detail. Apart from that, the main nations which are important for the exam point of view are very few. So if you start with the first thing, that is Alaska. So this is Alaska, this is Canada, this is USA, and this is Mexico. So these are the first 4 things that you have to remember in detail. So I'll repeat it again. This is Alaska, this is Canada, the third one is USA, and the last one is Mexico. And the irony here is Alaska also belongs to USA. Alaska is also part of USA. Okay, Alaska and USA are part, one and only the same. So Alaska belongs to USA, and then here comes Canada, here it is Mexico. Okay, then here you can see the Greenland. Greenland is generally geographically, it can be considered with the North America, but this is a part of Europe. Okay, politically it is a part of Europe. So just for the convenience sake, I have mentioned the Greenland over here, so that I can make you understand why it is placed. Geographically it is linked to North America, but politically it is part of Europe only. Okay, so I'll repeat it again. So here lies the Pacific Ocean, to the east lies the Atlantic Ocean, to the north lies the Arctic Ocean, and there are other countries that you have to see, like Alaska. Alaska belongs to USA, then Canada, then Mexico. And here is the Greenland, which is geographically part of North America, but politically it's part of Europe. Okay, so now let me make you learn some of the islands which are there. So here you can see some islands, right? So these are different islands which are there in the Arctic Ocean. Okay, these are the islands which are there in the Arctic Ocean. To which country this island belongs to? They belongs to Canada. So these are all the islands which belongs to Canada only. Okay, so these islands are in the Arctic Ocean. Remember that these islands which we are going to learn now are a part of Arctic Ocean. Okay. So here are the islands. So I'll mark with the blue color so that you can understand. So to the exact north of Canada. So here it is Canada, right? To the exact north here. Okay. I'm drawing a big pointer. Okay. Whatever the blue color I have drawn, this is the island number 1. So that is island number 1. Okay. What is the name of this particular island? I have mentioned over here. So that is Victoria Island. So this particular part is Victoria Island. This particular part is Victoria Island. Remember, it is a Victoria Island. Okay. Now let's go to the island number 2. So before making you learn the island number 2, I will show you the island number 3, which is located over here. Okay. So this is Queen Island. This is Victoria Island. This is Queen. This is Victoria. So this is Queen Elizabeth. This is Victoria. Okay. Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria. So here it is Queen Elizabeth Island. Here it is Victoria Island. So in between the Queen and in between the two queens, basically, so Queen Elizabeth is one queen, Victoria is another queen. Remember like that. Okay. So Queen Elizabeth Island, Queen Victoria Island, right? So in between them, so here comes the third island. Okay. In between the Queen Elizabeth Island and the Victoria Islands, here comes the Banks Island. Banks Island. Okay, remember it is Banks Island. So remember that queens will have a large bank balance. So in between them we can locate the Banks Island. Okay, let me show you in the this particular map so that you can understand. So here it is Canada, right? So this particular location, that particular location is Victoria Island, and here you can see the Queen Elizabeth Island, and this particular island is the Banks Island. Okay, I hope you have understood these 3 islands in detail. Now let us look at the 4th island. So the 4th island is located over here. The 4th island name is Ellesmere Island. Ellesmere Island. Okay. So here is the 4th island. It is Ellesmere Island. It is Ellesmere Island. Okay. So first one is Victoria Island. Second one is Queen Elizabeth Island. In between them Banks Island. And near to the Greenland. So this is Greenland, right? So near to Greenland we can see Ellesmere Island. Okay. Next, now let's look at the 5th island, that is Devon Island. Okay, that is Devon Island. So if this is the Ellesmere Island, to the south of it, to the immediate south of it is the Devon Island. To the immediate south of it is the Devon Island. Okay, I'll locate in the plane map so that you can understand. So here this particular location is Victoria Island. Okay, here you can see the Queen Elizabeth Island. Here you can see in between them, that is Banks Island. Okay, these 3 are very much clear, right? Yeah. So to the west of Greenland, so beside the Greenland, to the immediate western part of the Greenland, you can see Ellesmere Island. You can see Ellesmere Island. Okay, to the immediate south of the Ellesmere Island, you can see Devon Island. So this is Devon Island. Okay, so these are the 5 islands we have seen till now. Now let's see the another island, that is Baffin Island. Okay, the Baffin Island. Baffin Island is located over here. Okay, this is the Baffin Island. Okay, Baffin Island or Baffin Island is located over this particular place. And next one is Perry Island. Perry Island is located here. This is the Perry Island. Here is the Perry Island. Let me show you in the blank map again. Okay, now you'll have that clear understanding. So yeah. So here I have told this is the place number 1. This is the place number 1, that is Victoria Island. This is place number 2. This place number 2 is Queen Elizabeth Island. This is place number 3, which is Banks Island. Okay. Now let's see the place number 4 to the west of the Greenland, that is Ellesmere Island. That is Ellesmere Island. And to the south of Ellesmere Island is Devon Island. This is Devon Island. And this particular island is the 6th one. Okay, this is the 6th one. This particular 6th island name is Baffin Island. Okay, Baffin Island. And here comes the seventh island that we have read. Okay, so the seventh island name is what we have read, that is Perry Island. Okay, the seventh island name is Perry Island. Now I'll repeat it again. Now I am repeating it again. This is a bit confusing, so that's the reason I'm repeating a number of times. So let me take the blue color only. Yeah. So this particular first one, okay, this one is the first one. This particular location is the first one. The first location is the Victoria Island. So this is the second one. The second location is known as Queen Elizabeth Island. In between them comes the Banks Island. In between comes the Banks Island. Then we'll go to the fourth island. This is to the western part of Greenland. Here comes the Ellesmere Island. Ellesmere Island. To the south of Ellesmere Island, this particular place is the fifth one, that is Devon Island. Devon Island. And here comes the sixth place. The sixth place is Baffin Island. The sixth place is Baffin Island. So here comes the seventh one. The seventh one is called as Perry Island. Okay, Perry Island. So these are the 7 island locations that you have to remember. These are all belongs to Canada and all of them are in the Arctic Ocean. Okay, remember till now. And now let's see some of the important places of Canada. Okay, we have seen Canada's important islands which are part of Arctic Ocean. We have seen almost 7 islands. Now we are going to look at few important locations within Canada. So first of all, let's see what is the capital of the Canada. So the capital of the Canada is Ottawa. Remember, Canadian people eat oats. Okay, remember that. Imagine that Canada, a person from Canada is eating oats. So Canada's capital is Ottawa. Where is Ottawa located? So here is the Ottawa. Here is the Ottawa. Okay, remember, here is the Ottawa. So remember, here is the Ottawa. So that is the capital of Canada. That is the capital of Canada. Okay. So let me show you in the blank map so that you can understand. Here is Ottawa located. Here is Ottawa located, which is the capital of Canada. Now let's see the second location, that is Toronto. Toronto is the largest city of the Canada. Toronto is the largest city of Canada. Where is Toronto located? Toronto is located over here. Okay, it is located over here. Okay, so Ottawa is located over here and Toronto is located to the immediate south of the Ottawa. So let me show you it in the blank map. Okay, so if this is Canada, I am hoping that you are able to see Canada. So here comes the Toronto. Here comes the Ottawa. Toronto, Ottawa. Okay, so T. Here it is O, and the next important place is starting with M letter M. So you can remember Tom. Okay, Toronto, Ottawa and M. Let me show you what is that M. Okay, M is nothing but Montreal. M is nothing but Montreal. Okay, you have to remember letter M, M for Montreal. Where is M located? Where is Montreal located? Montreal is located to the north of Ottawa. Here the Montreal is located. Here the Ottawa is located. Here the Toronto is located. So T for Toronto, O for Ottawa, M for Montreal. Tom, you can remember as Tom. Okay, so Toronto, Ottawa and Montreal. Ottawa is the capital, Toronto is the largest city and Montreal is the another important place which is important for us because Montreal Protocol and all, you'll read it in the environment. So that's the reason we have located this particular place also. So this near to the Montreal lies the St. Lawrence River. You'll be learning about St. Lawrence and other rivers in the next classes, but let me remind you that Montreal is in the banks of St. Lawrence. Okay. So in Canada, whatever the places we have read, let's revise. First one is Canada. Canada's capital is Ottawa. Toronto is the largest city which is in the south of Ottawa, and to the north of Ottawa lies the Montreal which is in the banks of St. Lawrence River. Now let's see other places of Canada which are important for us. One is Halifax and another one is Vancouver. Okay, one is Halifax, another one is Vancouver. One is Halifax, one is Vancouver. So near to Halifax, there is an important location called as Nova Scotia. There is an important island called as Nova Scotia. And from the Halifax, which is in the easternmost part of the Canada, Vancouver, which is in the westernmost of Canada, So there comes there connects a railway that is called as Great Canadian Railway. That is called as Canadian Railway. Let me show you in the map so that you can understand. So if this particular place is Canada, so this whole region is Canada, right? So to this particular place, to the easternmost part of the Canada, here is the Halifax, okay? And in the Halifax only you can see the Nova Scotia Island, and the westernmost part of the Canada, here comes the Vancouver. So these both places are connected through a railway called as Canadian Railway. So that is a Canadian rail terminal. Okay, you have to remember this particular point. Halifax is the easternmost point and Vancouver is in the western part. Both of these points are connected through a Canadian railway. Okay, this is something which you have to remember. I have spoken about few places. One is Ottawa, which is the capital, and to the south of Ottawa you can see Toronto. To the north of Ottawa, you can see Montreal, which is in the bank of St. Lawrence. Easternmost location is Halifax, and in the western part, you can see Vancouver, both of which are connected through a Great Canadian Railway terminal. Okay. Now let's look at another important location. So the next important location is St. John Port. So important location is St. John Port, which is a fishing area which is famous for Grand Bank. Okay. So you might have studied about like Grand Bank in your notes when you are reading about the fishing zones in the world. Okay. St. John Port is a fishing area. So let me locate and let me show you in the map. So if this is Canada, here is the St. John Port. Here is the St. John Port. Here you can see the cold current and the hot current, the cold current and the normal current meets. That is why the fishing zone develops over here. So here in the St. John Port only you can see the Great Bank region where the fishes are more, okay, where the fish production is very, very high. Okay. So there is another important place which is called as Calgary, which is known for petroleum production or petroleum reserves. Where is Calgary located? Calgary is located over here. Okay, Calgary is located over here. Now let's see all of these places in the blank map so that you can have that more clarity. So I've told you to remember 3 places as storm. Okay, so here is T, that is Toronto. Here it is Ottawa, and here it is Montreal. Montreal is in the banks of St. Lawrence. Okay, Ottawa is the capital and Toronto is the another important location that is there. Toronto is the largest city of Canada basically. Okay, so next here is the St. John Port. Here only you can see the Grand Bank location, and here comes the Calgary, which is important for petroleum reserves. Okay, and here comes the Vancouver. Vancouver is connected to the place called as okay, Vancouver is connected to Halifax. Halifax is located over here. Halifax and Vancouver are connected through Canadian Terminal. Okay, the Great Canadian Railway Terminal. Okay, these are the important locations of the Canada. So whatever we have learned till now, let's revise. So we have learned the different places, like we have seen this is Alaska, which belongs to USA. This is Canada. This is USA again, Mexico. And apart from that, we have seen the Greenland, which is geographically part of North America, but not politically. It is generally, we say it is a part of Europe only. Okay, there are important islands, locations that we have seen. So which belongs to Canada and which are in the Arctic Ocean. Okay, so here you can see the Victorian Island. Here you can see the Queen Elizabeth Island. Here you can see the Banks Island. Okay, so these are the important 3. And here you can see Peary Island. And then we have seen to the west of to the immediate west of the Greenland, we have seen something called as, okay, Ellesmere Island. And to the south of Ellesmere Island, it is Devon Island. And here it is Baffin Island. So these are the important islands that we have seen, which belongs to Canada. Then we have seen important locations of Canada. So here is the Calgary, which is important for petroleum reserves. And here is Vancouver. Vancouver is connected to Halifax. Okay. Apart from that, we have seen other important locations like Tom. T is for Toronto, which is the largest city. O is for Ottawa, which is the capital of the Canada. And M is for Montreal. Montreal is an important location for the environmental point of view, because there are some protocols like Montreal Protocol and many more that you will read in as part of environment. So these 3 are located in this way. Okay, Montreal is in the banks of St. Lawrence. Okay, So here is the St. John Port, which is important for the Grand Bank. Okay, so this is about the things that we have learnt in today's class. I am hoping you people will revise and come back to tomorrow's class so that we can learn about different locations in USA and other locations that we have to see. Okay, so if you enjoyed this particular class and if this particular class has added some value to your pre-existing knowledge base, then make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that in the future you can learn many more from our channel which are important for your UPSC preparation. Okay, and also please hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell icon. All of this act as a source of motivation to me to come up with more such content for you. Thank you everyone. Keep smiling. Let's meet in the next class.